Trips awakening, y'all will feel my ancient signals, one within the universe and universes inside of me. How many of you earthlings pretending to be married? Is that your husband? Is that your wife? Is that really your name? See, some of y'all go by these names and titles and these hidden rituals that you're not aware of. So you help certain individuals, negative beings, you help them with the rituals. They're telling you to get married, and you're actually signing contracts, especially with the last names, because the last names, that's nothing but a corporation. It's nothing but a corporation. You're signing contracts. You're basically under a spell. You know, either you take on that individual's last name, it can be the so-called wife or husband. You could take on the last names, and you're getting married into the law. You're pledging to it. Some say under the law. You got witnesses watching you sign contracts. There's no such thing. There's a such thing as merging together, connecting to certain individuals. You know, they say you're supposed to be committed to one. You know, some of y'all, they got y'all programmed saying you're supposed to be a virgin. Yeah, before, save yourself for certain individuals. You know, so many things out there that, you know, I could just put out there and throw out there. You know, they want you to go buy this books of spells that was created by certain society groups. You're going by someone else, some other being's laws. This is not your law. Damn sure not my law. I don't go by these laws that y'all got to see and y'all got to feel what I'm talking about. Some of y'all not gonna get it, and some of you will feel where I'm coming from. You know, you sign these contracts. If a certain individual, you know, and get off of this realm, go into another world or dimension, you have to take over their debt. You know, and I've been wanting to say this. They say you're supposed to be committed to one individual. There's many levels. You can connect with certain ones on a spiritual level, not making your physical come in contact. See, they programming y'all to share, you know, negative energies and stuff. Program things that's already inside. Certain spells, like certain individual could have a spell and another individual could have a spell and have other things attached to it. And, you know, once you share physicals, you're taking on many types of spirits. Some get forced into being married. And some claim to be virgins. And there's no such thing as a virgin. Because you got certain beings can come through certain portals that they made through this machine. Because like I said, our physical body, where the portal, stars, the sun, we already got that all inside of us. But the negative beings created a machine that can open up certain portals on a spiritual level that y'all can't see. And they can take your energy they can take it from you when it comes to sex. So you're really not a virgin. You know, when you're young, they say you have wet dreams or whatever. You have wet dreams, or you have an orgasm or something in your sleep. Certain beings come and mess with you, and that's another video. So there's no such thing as a virgin. They want you to wear the white, and they want you to wear the black. Some of y'all choose to wear white, black, or other colors. And the black and white, basically, that's the checkerboard. And you're basically getting played on so many different levels. There's no such thing as being married. You can merge your energy. Are you actually really studying the individual that you're with? Because you could be so-called married for years and you're not meant to be together. You can lay up right next to somebody for years and be in love with someone else and see someone else. Do you see the animals out here, birds? Do you see them getting married? No. So to me, there's no such thing. You know, like, I'm going to take this video to so many levels. See, they program y'all and say you're not supposed to do this and that in the book. Then all of a sudden, now you can have the same sex marriage in certain planets that y'all call states. 2 physical women getting married or 2 men getting married. So you've basically been played all these for decades. You've been played. You know, they had it to where, you know, some of y'all live in a fantasy world. You know, some of y'all, like, you're programmed in this cube. You're basically, they set certain things up that y'all take on. You're a program. You want a big house, a couple of cars. You want children, some of y'all. And you're just going by instead of studying each other's worlds and see if you're meant to be together. And was you connected in other worlds? Because some are married and they belong together, but they given their power, but they still have issues because they're giving their power because they signed their nature over. And if you put your energy into it, then, you know, so many things can happen. Because some out there can be on some trifling stuff while being married. Other countries, if they mess around, they get murdered. All types of different things, stoned to death. So many things out there. You know, and the system got y'all programmed into doing that. You're signing contracts. Certain individuals out there forced to get married. And that's messed up on so many different levels because there's no such thing. You know, so when it comes to that, like, and I did a video on this, you can have sex without using your physical. And that goes to show y'all that certain beings take certain energies from y'all. There's no such thing as being a virgin. They take certain energies and create other planets that y'all can't see with the physical eye. You know, you're taking on names that's not even yours. That's some stuff that they made up because we're sounds and vibrations. We so many things out there. You know, and then you have these so-called, you know, corporation preachers. You know, they get paid with y'all's soul and energy. And the other beings get their share. And half of them trifling. I know for a fact I got a couple of relatives, so-called preachers, and they had a baby by someone else. I have a couple of relatives out there, so-called married, and they had a baby by someone else. So they're not really going by the so-called rules. You're supposed to be faithful, because there's no such thing as being faithful. There's no such thing as loyalty. Who wants to fly off of this realm with Trip? You know, they wanted certain bloodlines to mix with some of y'all, so they can, well, these negative forces can control you. They didn't want certain bloodlines to connect and line up. You get what I'm saying? Because that will destroy the machine. So they created a lot of distractions, hitting rituals, you know, giving y'all's energy to these pyramids. That's not even yours. You know, let me tell y'all this. If you married and you sign contracts, you can get out of it. And I'll tell you how. Don't give it power. Do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. Don't claim these names and titles. Don't claim something that's not even yours if you didn't create it, or if it didn't come from you. Don't claim it. You know, like I said, do you see animals, you know, lining up, singing spells, recycling spells? Do you see that? You don't see that. Certain countries, there's no such thing. Well, certain planets that y'all don't know about. So you gotta ask yourself, is that really your wife or husband? And then you pass that down to your children. Some already could have, you know, the star seeds before they jump into this. Certain individuals are not supposed to be together. Because you can mess around with a different bloodline, like a negative being from another world that's in physical form or shapeshifter, and put a spell on you and your loved ones. Because you already doing, like I said, you're doing a ritual. And you could actually have your blood could actually match to a certain degree. If you get what I'm saying. And and you're mixing energies. You're mixing energies. And like I said, they done studied a lot of things. They know how to work, these negative forces know how to work energy. And you got positive that know how to work energy as well. I know that for a fact. So it's like, you're taking on with the names that you claim, that's nothing but a spell that you're taking on. And your generation, your loved ones are taking on to these names and titles. And that's confusing a lot of individuals because that's not your name. Some, like I said before, and I touched on this a little bit, but you sitting here saying, I want to pass my last name to, I won't, some of y'all out here say, oh, I want my starseed, my son, to carry on my last name and carry, the legacy and all of that stuff. There's no such thing as that. There's no such thing as these names and titles. And none of y'all don't sit here and say, what about, the female? The female, created the physical body. Although they stole the DNA and created a lot of stuff, even some of these hybrids and some of these negative beings that's not even supposed to be connected with us. But that's another video as well. So when it comes to that, it's messed up on so many different levels. Because you got negative beings out there take advantage of this, thinking they own, thinking you are property. You are their property when you pledge to this stuff. Because you actually pledge to this. And then you got sick individuals, they don't even, you got sick individuals out there. And some of y'all are guilty. Y'all take them in and they mess around and confuse your starseeds. They either rape them or mess with them. And some of y'all still stick with them because you're under that spell. And you don't care about your starseeds. Some of y'all out there actually do that. And to me, that's some sick stuff. You be under that spell. You're taking on something that's not yours. You're supposed to merge together. Study each other. Like I said, and how many times do certain individuals get married? Especially the religious freaks out there. They get a so-called divorce, get married again. And I know for a fact, certain individuals that's been married 3 or 4 times. For what? You signing contracts, more contracts? Been married 3 or 4 times. And then, some of y'all quit just because someone, and then they even have it. They put it in your face saying, by law, you can be married if you're living together without signing the contracts. And what do? You go out there and get, so-called married. You're representing the rings of Saturn. You're doing certain rituals. You're basically, you're connected with them. So now you're getting certain negative things that you're taking on. Then you're wondering why you have so many problems. How come the ring got to be on the left hand? How come the ring can't be on the right hand? How come it had to be a ring? How come it had to be a big fancy wedding inside of these corporation buildings? Because you're giving your energy to that. And you giving it to a bunch of certain individuals that's already in society groups. And certain witnesses and stuff. You know, y'all doing the Colin Kaepernick. You see how they get on one knee and propose, so-called propose. Y'all get in on one knee and give him the rings of Saturn. You're representing another planet. See, this stuff is nothing but an illusion. I told y'all I'm about to take this off of this realm. I'm shaking this realm up. You know, and like some of y'all just didn't know about this. You know, and like I said, you can be married because I'm not I don't want y'all thinking I'm disrespecting y'all because some of y'all didn't know. Some of y'all didn't know. If you married, you don't have to give your power to it. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to give your power to it. You know, like you merge together, study each other. And, you know, you should be able to tell if you're meant to be together because you can feel each other's signals, energy. You should be able to know when your loved one, you know, when she's about to come on. You should be able to feel that. You should be able to feel the symptoms. That's how you can tell when y'all meant to be together, when you feel that. And you know, you can be with someone and connect with somebody else on a certain different level. On a spiritual level. Like I said, it don't have to be, they program y'all with the sex so y'all can invite different spirits to confuse y'all. And bring you down and take you to another world and mess you up on so many different levels. You know, you got to ask yourself, is there such thing as you just settling down with one? But you can settle with a couple or however you want to do it on a spiritual level. And I ain't talking about sex because like I said, you can have sex on a spiritual level without the physical touching. But they want to program y'all that, you know, especially with this polygamy. The polygamy is for these fake conscious muppets to set it up so they can put these negative beings inside of you. And some of y'all go for that polygamy mess. You know, some of y'all go for that. Y'all think that's cool. That's a bunch of mess because you're mixing certain bloodlines. You're mixing something totally different. You're connecting with something from another world that's not even supposed to be in your atmosphere. And they're using your DNA, your blood, and then these society groups put out these low budget pretenders out here to confuse y'all with the religion and all of that mess. That's not your wife, husband. There's no such thing. Then then y'all have to do certain things, you know, under the law, which is into the law. Because you pledge to it. You pledge to it, but you don't have, like I said, you don't have to give it power if you don't want to. You can do whatever you want. But like I said, there's certain levels, you know, there are certain levels you could connect with certain individuals. You can study each other. You can communicate with each other. Not with the system put out there saying you got to do this and that, and y'all go buy, like y'all said, y'all go buy in the cube. You want a big fancy car, big house, big wedding, rings, and just doing this stuff to get attention because you was programmed that mess. That's a bunch of mess. Merging together, merging souls, you're supposed to connect and study each other You're going. Of course, you're going to have your ups and downs. There's no such thing as a perfect, marriage or perfect, this so-called marriage, this illusion marriage. There's no such thing as perfect. You can balance it. Learn from each other. Get away from these material things and grow together and go to other worlds and dimensions. Don't pay no attention to this illusion. And like I said, it's funny how religion ones out there, religious freaks. Like I said, you be with someone, the first thing they say, oh, when y'all getting married? Oh, I'll sing at your wedding or I dance at your wedding, that silly stuff. Y'all are stars and sun and different planets. Y'all can merge together. Y'all don't have to have a bunch of witnesses and these rings and, pay for this mess and put yourself through that. A lot of y'all have issues out there when it comes to being married because y'all don't know, you really don't know each other. Some of y'all so-called get married for the fame, the money. Y'all don't care about that individual. And some are desperate and pay. I remember back in the day, I don't know if they still got it. Of course they probably did. Yeah, they still got it. Where they would pay for their brides. And force certain individuals to connect with them. And you got these nasty, sick, twisted, these beasts out here, these monsters. Like in certain countries, they got it to where certain younglings out there get married to them and they do certain sick rituals and sick things out there. And that's another video as well. This marriage thing is a bunch of mess. And some of y'all give it power. Some of y'all ain't going to understand what I'm saying. But the listeners out there that's, connected in tune, y'all get what I'm saying. This stuff is like really deep because some of y'all don't know each other out there. You think you do, but you really don't. You learn something every single day. With a certain individual like or they dislike or y'all, like I said, y'all get set up by the system. Y'all program to do certain things. You faking it on social media, especially social media. Y'all try to act like y'all big and happy and the social media, a lot of y'all fronting and y'all ain't even really happy. Y'all putting on the front. And a lot of y'all out here fake pretenders like these low budget Muppets. That's confusing y'all. And with this polygamy and stuff, like I said, they just want to put these negative beings inside of the feminine physical body and use certain spells on the star seeds when they come out. There are so many different bloodlines. They confused and mixed y'all up on so many different levels. Some of y'all don't know how to use your 360 senses or even more. It ain't just like these Christians, it's these Muslims and this religious mess. And then they saying, oh, the man got to bring, the groceries or a man got to have a job, this and that. How do y'all know that? We're supposed to protect the feminine energy from the negative. Although you have certain forms that's in a feminine body that's not from this realm, connected with the insects and reptiles, And some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Got both parts. But we're supposed to protect them, and they using the battle of the sexes. You know, how do y'all know if the women, you know, we're supposed to keep them protected? And the star seeds. How do you know if the women ain't really supposed to be doing all the work? And it's in a way they kind of putting that in your face because, like I said, from years from now, y'all gonna see a lot of women like really running things. And women have always been running things, but they want to do the battle of the sexes. And I think that's a bunch of mess, but that's another video. That's another video. You know, so it's like y'all go by these rules, y'all go by certain things, and then y'all want to clown someone if a woman help carry their man. Like, you know, if a man lose their job, y'all quick to call them out their name. Or if a woman lose their job, you know, y'all be like, oh, well, you're supposed to take care of the woman and this and that. It's like y'all program on so many different levels. You know, if a woman look out for that man, y'all want to gossip and talk, and y'all got issues yourself. You know, what if it was supposed to be like that and we supposed to protect them? But y'all, like I said, y'all program. You're supposed to do this and that, or you want the name brands and all of that stuff. You program that. You know, and I'm not, you know, it's cool when, you know, a man can hold their own. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, well, the men and women, that's nothing but illusion names to me. But I have to sometimes, you know, put that out there so y'all can understand what I'm saying. But, you know, men, or man, or whatever you want to call it, you know, some can hold their own and women can hold their own. You know, I just feel like we supposed to merge together and study each other's worlds. You know, and they got to, like, oh, it's supposed to be a man thing. Men run this and men run that. And then, like I said, women is the creator, but we all supposed to be, like, balanced. We supposed to be getting along. It ain't supposed to be man, like, tell the woman, like, oh, well, you get in the kitchen and clean and this and that. That's a bunch of mess. Some of y'all program that. That's a bunch of mess. No disrespect to whoever's married. You know, I mean, some of y'all didn't know that y'all signing contracts. You know, and you can merge together, merge your souls and study each other. You know, and y'all should have known off top that this system is a bunch of mess when they was promoting the same sex. They passed these so-called laws. That's not even your law. That's their mess. They just want y'all to connect with that. And, you know, you got certain insects or reptiles that can shapeshift into a human form. And, you know, these sick creatures they sleep with the same sex and stuff, and then they pass that to y'all, and it doesn't help that they got this cube sending out certain signals to y'all's brain and programming y'all with certain images and stuff that y'all see, you know, with this Hollywood mess, and through the music, sending signals to y'all's body, and y'all connect to that energy. And then that's when that same-sex mess come along, and I think that's a bunch of mess. You know, because they're confusing certain energies, and that's another video. I could get real deep into that. I could break that down to so many different levels, but that's another video. But, you know, they passing, you know, they do that stuff on their planet, okay? And they programming y'all, they using y'all's energy to a certain level. You know, they're using it to a certain level. Then, you know, they got y'all representing the rings of Saturn, putting on, you know, and then you got the insects in them, you know, going, and the reptiles going back and forth. And like I said, this is some Star Wars stuff going on. You know, this is a spiritual battle. They, like I said, they got y'all wearing the ring, you know, on the left hand, like, you know, like they said, you know, get it on the left and all of that, get it on the good foot and all of that stuff. You know, there's so many subliminals out there that some of y'all don't pay attention to. And like I said, how come you can't put it on the right finger? And then you got to put it on the third finger. You get what I'm saying? The third finger on the left, the number 3. Then you're getting on the knee doing these rituals and stuff. And, you know, some of these certain individuals get, you know, like these Masons, they put their left foot out. You know, I could, like I said, I could break it down on so many levels. And, you know, these creatures that's running the Masonic and these society groups like the Shriners and, you know, the Zionist Jews and celebrities and fraternities and sororities and stuff, y'all taking on the rituals. Y'all taking on the rituals. And then you wonder why certain things doesn't go right with you. Because like I said, you have the ability, you have the power, and these creatures know that. That's the reason why they use these different entities and different marriage and these fake guides and all of these different names and titles to confuse y'all on so many different levels. And they want y'all to mix certain energies and stuff like that to confuse y'all and your star seeds. And it's just like a recycle. You recycling this illusion, and it follows you in certain dimensions. That's the reason why you need to get in contact, whoever you, if you merge together, y'all grow together. Y'all study each other's worlds and create your own. And get out this illusion. What? Did somebody say something?